use the word variability. I do not say speculation does not affect commodity price variability or instability. I was talking about the trend. So the first thing, but then thank you for asking, because that's the important point we must talk about, which is very important. It's just I cannot explain the fact that in 2012, the level of 2013, the level of commodity prices is much higher than on the average than in 1999. So there's not no need to deny speculation. First of all, second, more important, yes, there are people who deny that speculation matters, which normally by a neoclassical argument, again, substitution, that people would need you need to see the signal, as Krugman said, of ever-increasing stocks to be sure that there is speculation. This is an extremely weak point, because by nature, even if you are a little marginalist, by the very nature of intermediate goods, commodities have small substitution possibilities, of course, especially in the very short run, and a very rigid supply, if you want to use this neoclassical category. And more importantly, the fact is that a lot of things that stocks are not accumulated increase in price dramatically. Old houses, one apartment in the beach of Ipanema, prices have increased dramatically. And I don't see stocks of anything, they just change hands. So all you need is the hot potato theory, that you think somebody else still thinks the price will go up. So in the end, and you don't even need future markets for that, of course. Future markets help. If they are very liquid, they help you with a very small amount of money to incredible things. But in the end, it's not the future price, not the current price, but the expected price that matters. And the problem is, in the Adam Smith, you find this, that how much market prices can fall depends on when they expect the prices to go up. You don't find this in neoclassical theory, that wanted a regular relation between price and demand in the short run. Even the long run is difficult, the price runs, see, only like rotten fish at the end of the market, at market day, as John Robinson would say, would have some relevance. The sort of vertical supply curve doesn't make any sense. Once you get out of that, the possibility of bubbles of expectations are not only possible, but very important. But the problem is, the question then becomes, why so many people consistently expected prices to come, not to fall tomorrow, so that I had another person to sell to. And for this, unfortunately, you have in the best literature, or Keynes or Calder, they talk about the supply price, because of course, at least the expected supply price must govern the trend of the price. And so there is no disagreement whatsoever in what you said, and thank you for allowing me to clarify, which I think helps a bit to understand the other question, which is the fact that I did not say anything about financial services, right? That changes distribution or does not. What I said is there was no change in the international economic order in the financial things, apart from the negative change of people not going to the IMF, not going to the Bretton Woods institution, creating the G20, that people complain a lot about the G20 because it doesn't do much. The fact that the developing countries do not allow it to coordinate policies is what saved us. The stalemate in the WTO and this apparently inaction on G20 is some of the greatest victories for policy space in the developing countries. And we don't want, it's not good for us to allow Germany to run world fiscal policy. No, thanks, right? Now, what we had in this period was a peculiar combination that was favorable to us, that sort of monetary policy was run by the US and fiscal by China, which was nice for us. So, and as financialization as such, it has many meanings. I do not special for that, but there is, of course, very large changes in distribution in the rich countries caused by this. It's not evident, I'm never denying that. In the developing countries, there has been a lot of gains before, in the period of high interest rates. Enormous transfers in public debt and the privatization, etc. This was immense, maybe bigger than what happened more recently in the rich countries. And more, let's say, permissive role of financialization, also generating credit booms and in other in the subprime boom, etc. Of course, was very important, generating demand all over the world. So, no, I would never deny these things. It's just that what I meant is the absence of a new Bretton Woods or even of capital controls, given the circumstances of accumulating a lot of results in using flexible exchange rates, one can do a lot if one wants. What I worry about is a lot of progressive people say, only if the whole world agrees on a new monetary system, only if we change all the rules of the euro, only if we can do something. And that's what I was against. I'm not denying the stability of the things. It would be silly to deny reality, what happened. I'm just saying that what is surprising is that the performance was so good in such an apparently, even to me in the 90s. To me in the 90s, global financialization meant there was nowhere to go. And in the 2000s, suddenly you look at the results and something changed. It's this that I was trying to discuss in order to put in context the debate. Okay.
Just a little, footnote to the story, to that question of income distribution. I think it's also important to understand that, and Franklin sort of showed it, but he didn't show the data, but he said it. But if you look at the last year's UNCTAD's Trade and Development Report, there's a little table on rates of growth of wages in center and periphery. Exactly one of the big differences, which is that he told the story from the point of view of in terms of trade and exchange rates, but you can also see that in terms of the increase in wages in China, Argentina. Oh, it comes from the wage. Yeah, I did the table on the basis of those things. So the thing is that it grows brutally. So you have, and yet, so part of the story of why the U.S. in particular, talking about limitations of demand, is that internally in the U.S. there is by design a policy to constrain wages and to have profit-led stagnation, so to speak. And so that's an important. I think it's an important point that you raised, but it's sort of the counterface of the story he was telling.
I was in a hurry because I made too big a presentation, and I jumped something that was written there. But it's very important for distribution, which is the fact that the increase in nominal commodity prices, only in dollars, only became an increase in relative commodity prices, because there was no inflation in the rich countries, which in the 70s, as Oscar Brown predicted in Argentina, would not. He predicted that the better terms of trade on the side would not last, because inflation in the north and the rigidity of distribution of income in the north would make, in one way or another, either big inflation in dollars of other goods, so you improve the temperature, or even before that, anti-inflation policies in the north that would destroy world demand. Neither of these two things happened in the 2000s. This explains, and the other part, explains the transition from nominal dollar prices to relative prices. And this only happened because of a very weak bargaining position of workers in the West. Workers in the West accepted about $5 down of gasoline without any problem, decided to rebel. And now in this case, not the China demand effect, but again the China cost effect. The fact that China and many developing countries export industrial goods, now different from Prebisch, different from Singer, different from the other thing, they export the same goods of the very close quality to the rich countries. They are on direct competition. If you pay the wage for someone planting sugar cane very low, that does not affect negative, actually affects positive. The real wages of a person in the center or working in Europe, in the US. But if you pay low wages in China or Thailand or whatever, producing a global car, how can you get a raising because the oil increase in the US? So this thing has been very important, and it's part, together with financialization, of the huge shift in distribution away from wages and working in favor of profits and various kinds of rents that took that shift. So it is in the story, but sorry, I jumped too much.
Any other questions?